during the last episode, October 1, we had Prof. Epifania Lopez who discussed the various quantum leaps in land surveying techniques and also the basic concepts in surveying using UAS or the drone technology, especially the use of drones in generating high accuracy orthophotos for one. Now, for today's episode, we are diving in this idea. How would the Philippine Active Geodetic Network, or PAGeNet, help in a high accuracy UAV mapping? Okay, to introduce our speaker, let me call our Director for Projects and Administration of FEF, Engineer Rhea Lindealca.
So today's speaker is a geophysicist and chief of PAGeNet section, Geodesy Division of NAMREA, where she has been with for more than a decade. Her tasks include overseeing the establishment and operation of PAGeNet, and she works on the modernization of the Philippine Geodetic Reference System, specifically on the migration to a geocentric and dynamic datum. She also undertakes research and development on geodesy and other allied fields and prepares policies and guidelines on geodesy and other mapping and surveying related topics. From 2007 to 2010, she was involved in the nationwide implementation of the PRS 92 project from 2007 to 2010, and the topographic-based map production in 2003 to 2006. She also became a trainee applications engineer, GNSS network reference stations at Leica Geosystems in Switzerland in 2011. She is a graduate of the University of the Philippines. She graduated bachelor's in geodetic engineering and master's in remote sensing. She also acquired a master's in navigation and related applications from Politecnico di Torino, Italy, where she graduated with honors. She also ranked 10th in the National Geodetic Engineering Licensure Examinations in 2003. Currently, she is taking up another master's in UP, this time in geomatics engineering. She is a recipient of the United Nations Italy Long-Term Fellowship Program on GNSS and related applications under the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs, and was also awarded as one of the NAMREA Women Achievers in 2015. So many things can be said about her, our speaker, and she's also a friend and a fellow Powerpuff Girl when we were together as officers at GEP NCR. And I can say that she really knows her stuff and is the perfect person to discuss the Philippine Active Geodetic Network and its application to high accuracy UAV mapping. So with that, please join me in welcoming Engineer Charisma Victoria de la Cruz Cayapan. Take it over, Charisma.
Hello, thank you, Tati, and good morning, everyone. Do I share the screen now?
Yes, po.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay.
We are now at 105 participants.
Okay. Pressure ako, parang I want to learn new things. Sana bago yung ano. Okay, so we're good to go?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Again, thank you for inviting us to be part of this Do's and Drones webinar lecture series. So this morning, I will be discussing how you can use the Philippine Active Geodetic Network, or PAGeNet, for high accuracy UAV mapping. Okay, so here's how the discussion will flow. We'll first lay out the importance of positions in drones, including the errors affecting its position determination. Then we'll discuss how we can achieve survey-grade results with UAVs and how we can do this using the PAGeNet products and services. I'll also touch on a few things that we need to consider when using PAGeNet for UAV mapping. And lastly, I'm going to share some final thoughts. Okay. So let me start with this last slide from Professor Ping's presentation last October 1. So we've all been witness to how drones have changed how we do things. So it's not just for survey and mapping, Drones have become ubiquitous, and it has proven useful in a wide array of applications, from entertainment to search and rescue and asset inventory, just to name a few. Now, unmanned aerial systems rely on location information for it to work. Each drone is equipped with a GNSS module that tells its location and enables it to go where it is supposed to go. Yes, the GNSS module will provide location information. Pero gaano ba talaga kaganda ang position na yan? Okay? So, let us recall how a GNSS receiver determines the position. Alam natin, nasa basic siya na GPS, surveying subject, na it uses trilateration to compute its position. To do this, kailangan niyang makapag-track ng at least 4 satellites. Medyo mali yung ating picture kasi 3 lang ang nakalagay. Para makompute niya ang distance from itself and then to the respective na satellites na na-track niya. Now, the distance measured is not the true range. It also includes the range added because of the different error sources encountered as the signal travels from the satellite to the receiver. This includes errors from the space segment, yung clock and ephemeris errors natin. The errors incurred due to its propagation through the atmosphere, yan yung ionospheric and troposphere delay. And then we have what we call the local errors. Dito na pumapasok yung mga multipath, yung hardware delays, receiver noise, that kind of thing. The space segment and propagation errors we can reduce or totally eliminate using models or differencing. While the local errors naman, binabawasan natin to by using yung mga multipath mitigation techniques and some such. So nakita natin dito na GNSS pa lang, marami ng error sources. Imagine that GNSS module, minount din natin siya sa isang moving platform where it is subjected sa the roll, pitch, and yaw of the UAV. So makikita mo dyan na madadagdagan talaga ang uncertainty doon sa ating position determination. So let me just show you this plot. This is one of my favorite plots na na-generate from an experiment we did a while back. Here you can see how a GNSS position varies per epoch. Usually, makikita mo yan na sa start ng GNSS observation, malaki ang variation ng computed position, ng estimates niya. Pero habang tumatagal ang observation natin, mas nare-refine nito ang pag-estimate sa position. So nakikita mo na nagiging tight ang clustering ng position estimates. Dito, hindi masyadong nakikita yung clustering. Gusto ko lang ipakita itong I love you na na-form niya sa, sa kanyang mga scatter plot. Okay. To give you an idea, this table shows the accuracies that you can get depending on the length of observation. So you can see inversely proportional ang accuracy. Tama ba? Inversely proportional. The longer the occupation time, the smaller ang kaya mong ma-achieve na accuracy. So nakita niyo dito na sa mga continuous na GNSS observation, kaya niya ng less than 0.5 centimeters. Pero yung occupation time mo dito is months or more. Yung pinaka mabilis natin, like yung sa kinematic, 1 cm to 5 cm kasi nasa seconds lang ang occupation time mo. Okay? So this slide shows an example of an uncorrected UAV image relying solely on the position derived from the onboard GNSS module. This image is from a UAV survey we did a few years back for the most affected area of Marawi City to help in the rehabilitation efforts. As you can see, the surveyed position of the control point does not match its location in the image. So, nakikita niyo to, yan. The offsets are also not consistent. Some areas maliit lang, itong 0.7 meters, but in some areas malaki, may 3 meters kaming nakita. Hindi rin consistent ang direction ng offsets niya. Okay? So, yung 0.7, 1.7, 3 meters, it's not sufficient for surveying and mapping applications. How then can we achieve survey grade results? Pero before we talk about the how, let us first discuss ano nga ba talaga ang survey grade. Excuse me. When we say survey grade, it means that the results that we have are consistent, accurate, and repeatable. Consistent meaning na yung result ng survey natin is in the right coordinate system. At kapag pinatong mo ito with other data sets like yung cadastro natin, dapat nag-fit in siya correctly. Accurate, ibig sabihin, yung positions na nakukuha natin from our survey are within the published accuracy standards. So kung that's for parcellary survey, dapat pag ginamit natin yung UAV, yung output ng survey natin, dapat yung positions na makukuha natin ay nagpo-fall within that published accuracy standard for parcellary surveys. Ang repeatable naman, it means na pwede mong balikan ang results. So you can achieve the same results. Kung ibang tao ba ang nag-survey, will they arrive at pretty much the same result as you have done? So, of course, how then can we achieve survey grade results? Maraming factors that goes into it. It could be, of course, you have to use the right equipment or software and methodologies. We have to remember yung mga non-survey grade drones only have consumer grade single band GPS receivers. Typically, ang accuracies niya is greater than 3 meters at ginagamit lang siya primarily for navigation. Okay? Kailangan din maayos ang software. May tinatawag na smart software para kaya niyang i-process yung complex na mga algorithms for UAV, for survey grade na surveying, drone mapping. Okay? And survey grade also means that standard operating procedures are followed in the conduct of your UAV mapping from project setup all the way to the validation of results. Each step of the mapping workflow, of course, contributes to the quality of your output. But what I will be focusing here in my presentation is the control establishment, this one, because this is where PAGeNet comes in. Okay? So, how do we provide control sa ating survey, sa ating UAV survey? There are several ways. We can do this by using ground control points established by conventional surveys, say static GNSS observation. Second is by post-processing kinematic. And third is by using real-time kinematic. So dun muna tayo sa unang technique. So in the first technique, ground control points are first established pre-flight. These points are surveyed to very high accuracy in order to get its precise coordinates. Targets are then placed on these control points to make them easily identifiable during the image acquisition. Ngayon, itong precise coordinates na nakuha natin during the survey pre-flight is used as input doon sa photogrammetric software to georeference the images. Using ground control points is the best approach for most survey works. So it provides the most accurate survey results with the images already in the GCP's coordinate system after post-processing. It also does not require complex drones, nor does it require a lot of new skills to master kasi it's pretty much similar to the conventional aerial photogrammetry na ginagawa natin dati. The main drawback is that it can be time-consuming, especially yung sa field work for the control establishment. GCPs need to be evenly distributed also around the project site. So this can prove challenging if access and security are an issue. Kailangan din marunong ka kung gaano karami at paano i-distribute itong mga ground control points, and it requires technical know-how. Okay? So in post-processing kinematic, you set up a base station pre-flight. So the base station is on an ideal location whose position is precisely known. The base is configured to log GNSS data for the whole duration of the flight. So during the drone survey, the onboard GNSS receiver record their accurate location along with their timestamps. So itong mga timestamps na to ang ginagamit ng processing software to correct yung location of each photo during post-processing. So, okay? So the good thing about this technique is that it reduces the amount of ground control points needed while still providing moderately accurate results. The downside is that it increases the cost and complexity of drones and processing software to be used. Okay, the last technique is by using the real-time kinematic or RTK. So it's pretty much similar to the PPK technique. You still set up a base station pre-flight. The difference now is that there is no more post-processing done since the corrections are sent to the drone during survey in real time, so you can finish your survey faster. Compared to PPK, it takes longer preparation time for flights since you have to establish first the base station and drone communication link, either via radio man yan or through internet. This technique provides acceptable survey results depending on the status of lock and is the least accurate technique compared to the other two. Like the PPK, using RTK increases the cost and complexity of drones and processing software. Although nowadays, I believe nauuso na ngayon na ang pag-upgrade ng regular drone lang with an RTK module. So, supposed to be daw mas mura na siya. Okay? So, this table summarizes the comparison of the three techniques. In terms of accuracy, using GCPs is the most accurate, provided, of course, that enough GCPs are well distributed over the project site. RTK yields the least accurate dahil nga nakadepende siya sa fixed status. In terms of time, RTK is the fastest since corrected position is available in real time and post-processing is not needed. Sa resources, for GCP establishment using GCPs, bawat GCP measurement requires equipment, manpower, time, and software. So if your project requires you to establish ng maraming mga GCPs, medyo kakain talaga siya ng time, ng tao, at saka ng equipment. For PPK and RTK, it's more of a one-time charge lang ang kinakaharap mo dito for the acquisition of drone capable of doing this technique. Less manpower and equipment ang kailangan since mas konti ang controls na establish mo over the whole project site. For the RTK, there is an added cost for the communication kung n-trip ang means niyo to receive the correction. In terms of flexibility, reliability, consistency, we can say that using GCPs is sensitive to site dynamics. Ang nire-recommend nila kapag ang project mo daw is the type na kailangan ng madalas na revisit with drones, it is feasible to use GCPs. However, you also have to consider the dynamics. Madalas bang magbago sa site? Case in point, yung experience namin sa Marawi, we had an issue doon sa mga GCPs na in-establish namin kasi kakatapos lang namin mag-put up ng GCP, nasisira siya dahil ongoing din, sumasabay din yung rehabilitation work. So natatabunan siya ng mga debris, na dadaanan siya ng mga clearing operation. So ganun, you have to consider the site dynamics. If it's constantly changing, baka it doesn't make sense naman na mag-put up ka ng mga GCPs all over the project site talaga, na ganun karami. So there's also the terrain access security that we have to consider. Dun sa ginawa namin sa Marawi, we had to watch out for an exploded ordnance na nagkakalat pa over the MAA during the time of our survey. Ang maganda sa PPK is that reprocessing is possible. So may mababalikan ka in case magka-problema or may kailangan kang i-check. Unlike sa RTK na sensitive talaga siya sa loss of lock. Once nawalan ka ng fix, pangit na ang position na makukuha, and after that epoch, and you may have to redo the flight. Okay? All three depends on the quality of the base station setup. Di ba nga, the accuracy of your survey cannot go higher than the accuracy of your base. So kung pangit ang pagka-set up mo sa base, pangit din ang lalabas doon sa drone survey mo, yung magiging output mo. You can see dito sa comparison that PPK is sort of compromise between your GCP and your RTK. So na-address niya yung yung drawback ng GCP yung sa time, but at the same time na-achieve din niya yung kanyang flexible din siya, and at the same time na-achieve niya yung accuracy na kailangan mo. Okay? So going back to the earlier drone image of Marawi City, ito yung let me just go back. Ito yung walang GCPs. Now, after we have inputted the coordinates of the control points, sa georeferencing, makikita natin na yung surveyed position of the GCP now falls over the correct location sa image. Okay, are we still good? Do we need a break?
No, ma'am. Please continue.
Continue na lang ako.
Yes.
Go ahead. Oh my gosh, is it already 37? Oh my God.
No, it's okay. No.
Okay, sige, okay. So, the good thing about, next topic tayo. Okay. So, the good thing is that PAGeNet can provide for all the three techniques that I mentioned earlier, using GCPs man yan, or PPK, or RTK. So, ano nga ba ang PAGeNet? So, basa. The PAGeNet is the primary geodetic positioning infrastructure na in-establish ng NAMRIA at gumagamit siya ng global navigation satellite systems. And the services that we offer are being sent using the internet. Okay, so ito yung system, how the system works. So we have the active geodetic stations. Ito ay yung mga continuously operating reference stations. Usually unstaffed siya and permanently configured, and it operates 24/7, 365. So data from the active geodetic station is sent to the data and control center. Ang data and control center naman is the ICT facility for online processing. Dito namin ginagawa yung network monitoring, data storage, and distribution. So communication between the active geodetic station and the data control tunnel is via a VPN. So kami lang ang pwedeng maka-access doon sa mga AGS na to. From the data and control center going to the users, we use the internet to send our data and our services. Yeah. So this is a typical installation. Ito yung mga itsura ng mga AGS namin. We have ground-based installations and meron din kaming roof-based. Sa ground-based, depende sa purpose ng station mo. If we're after yung mga high accuracy talaga, frustal deformation monitoring, we use itong mga ground-based installation. Itong nauna, yung concrete pier, ang pundasyon nito is 3 meters. Ito namang deep drill braced monument, up to 10 meters deep ang pundasyon nito because we want our stations to be ultra stable. Some sites naman kasi, kung gagamitin lang natin siya for RTK surveying, sufficient na yung roof-based installation. So ito ang design namin usually, merong stainless steel pipe or meron din kami yung metal pylon. So we have 35 roof-based stations and 17 ground-based. The Data and Control Center is in the 4th Bonifacio office of NAMRIA. So we're using both Leica and Trimble course management software. Every day we do coordinate monitoring of the stations using Bernice GNSS software, which is capable of processing baselines for up to thousands of kilometers. Now, to ensure the high availability of products and services, we have converted our servers to it runs now on virtual machines. We have an offsite backup for disaster recovery, and then we have plans for mirror site and dual live systems. Okay, so we started with PAGeNet way back in 2007 as part of the PRS 92 project. And to date, we have 52 active geodetic stations installed nationwide. One is a shared station, meaning yung LGU ang may-ari ng equipment, and then sinama na lang namin sila sa aming network para ma-monitor yung coordinates at makatulong din sa aming monitoring in that area. We have plans to put up more stations. Ang target talaga dito is around 200, so may 148 pa kami na kulang. Ongoing naman ang densification niya. Okay. When surveying with PAGeNet, ano yung pinagkaiba niya with our traditional RTK? Normally kasi 'di ba ang ginagawa natin pag nag-RTK tayo is that nagse-set up muna tayo ng base, naghahanap tayo ng known point muna ng control, tapos siniset up natin doon yung base, tapos na siniset up natin yung communication between our base and the rover. Tapos pag okay na, we go around the project site to do our survey. And then we go back to the base setup to check kung okay pa ba lahat, tumatakbo pa ba yung base or not. And if everything is okay, we pack up and then we go back to the office. Now with PAGeNet, nire-reduce natin ang workflow into just 6 steps because you don't need to put up your own base station. The data now for your reference will come from us, from PAGeNet. So it essentially frees up one set of equipment para maging rover na rin siya. So itong picture na to is for yung land surveying. We can extend this doon sa UAV mapping also. So instead na maglagay ka pa ng sarili mong base para sa UAV flight mo, you can just connect to us sa PAGeNet using internet. Okay? So these are the products and services. We both have post-processed and real-time. Excuse me. So meron kaming RINEX download for post-processing. So different file lengths, different logging interval, and different constellations ang kayang i-provide. And we also have coordinate computation. So these are more for clients na hindi pa kayang mag-process ng sariling data nila. So they can just upload yung RINEX and then we can process it for you and then we can generate the results. Sa real-time naman, we have yung single base RTK and the network RTK for Mega Manila. Ang pinagkaiba dito sa dalawang ito is that yung single base, the correction will come from just one station. Sa network RTK, it's at least 4 stations na nagko-contribute doon sa network solution. Ang maganda sa network RTK is that kung mag-down ang isa, meron ka pang other stations na nagpo-provide ng correction. Sa single base, pag nag-down siya, wala na ang correction na stream. Unless kung ang pinili mong product is yung tinatawag namin na nearest base. Sa nearest base, kung ano yung pinakamalapit na AGS, doon siya magko-connect. Pero ang problema nito, baka yung nearest base mo naman ay sobrang layo. So baka mahirapan ka sa fixing mo. Okay? So ito yung fees ngayon. We have a one-time registration fee which is 1,000 per client. But this comes with a 1-hour free connection to the real-time service para makita mo, ma-configure mo yung equipment mo and you can try it out kung okay ba or kaya. Okay? Sa RINEX download, ang cost namin for data na ang logging interval is 1 second to 15 second is 50 pesos per MB. Pero the 30 second na logging interval to 60 second, libre na siya. So you can just get in touch with us para we can provide the data to you. We also have yung mga unlimited downloads per day, per 5 days, 15 days, 1 month. Ganyan. Sa real-time correction, for one connection, meron tayong 100 per hour per AGS per rover. Pag unlimited connection, meron tayong 1,000 plus 500 per additional rover. So meron kami ditong setup. Some clients nire-request na lang nila kasi kung pwede daw, parang we just send them a monthly bill. Parang postpaid ang setup. Magpapadala na lang kami ng statement sa kanila and then isi-settle na lang nila yun. Para hindi na sila matali dito sa 1 day, 5 days, 15 days. So kung ano na lang yung kanilang na-consume for that month, yun na lang ang ibibill namin. Okay. So these are our websites. We have yung pagenet.namria.gov.ph. Ito yung portal nyo para makapag-download ng RINEX data. Ito namang Spider Business Center. Ito naman for user account management. So dito ka magsusubscribe, magsusubscribe doon sa mga products and services. Okay? Our beta website is yung pagenet.namria.gov.ph and we're also on Facebook. Yan, Philippine Active Geodetic Network, PAGeNet. Please like. Yan. Okay, so ito yung process flow. You first need to register. yung online sa pagenet.namria.gov.ph, and then you subscribe to a specific service, and then you pay kung kailangan magbayad, and then i-approve na yan. After that, makaka-access ka na sa aming services. Okay. How are we with the time? Do we still have time for this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We still have time. Yeah.
Bilisan ko na lang. Okay. So I'll just illustrate quickly the steps on how you download RINEX or connect to the RTK service. Okay. So dito makikita nyo, wait, going back. If you go to our website, yung pagenet.namria.gov.ph, we click on download, and dadalhin kanya dito sa yung kaninang pinakita ko, spiderweb. Ipapasok mo dito yung iyong username and password na ginamit mo sa pag-create ng account. And then we click on the RINEX job service and then create new job. Dito sa mga panels na to, dito mo i-specify kung ano yung date ng data na kailangan mo. Tapos yung susunod is you enter the local start time, duration, RINEX file types, and observation rate. And then, i-specify mo rin kung anong satellite system. Is it GPS only, GPS and GLONASS? And then kung saang station ka magda-download ng data. Is it the one in Namria, yung PTAG, or the one in Santa Cruz, Laguna, in General Santos? So dyan mo siya pipiliin. So you have different options. Pwedeng may mapa, meron kang list lang, and then meron din na kung may general idea ka ng location mo, automatic na siyang mag-select. Okay, so i-review mo lang yung summary ng mo, and then click submit. You can check on the results tab para makita mo yung status ng request mo. And once it is available, you can just click download. Okay, for real-time correction naman, first you need to configure your equipment to connect to the internet, either via Wi-Fi or GSM, or yung GPRS module ng GNSS unit mo. Kasi di ba yung iba may mga built-in na talaga doon na GPRS module. So we configure the receiver to connect to the PAGeNet using the following settings. So yung IP address mo is 122.55.96.59, and your port number is 2101 for single base and 2102 for network RTK. Okay. Once napasok mo na yan, magkoconnect ka sa amin, and then you select now the specific RTK product and enter the corresponding mount point. Tapos pag nakita mo na connected na and this correction is coming in, you proceed with the survey. So bali itong steps na pinakita ko is more for land surveying. But pretty much the same concept ang sinusunod mo para ma-configure ang iyong mga drones to connect to us. So hihingan ka rin niya ng internet connection, hihingan ka rin niya nitong IP address na 122.55.96.59, and then yung port number kung saang port magko-connect, kung single base ba or yung network RTK. Okay? Tapos again, you also have to specify yung RTK product. So pretty much the same ang niya. Okay, malapit na tayong matapos. So some things to consider when using PAGeNet. Okay, so as much as possible, you should maintain yung minimal distance between your project site and the active geodetic station. Kasi alam naman natin that GNSS is para mabawasan mo yung kanyang distance-dependent errors. Alam natin that the farther you go, farther away you are from your reference station, mas pumapangit ang accuracy, reliability, and availability of the correction. Okay? So, pag masyadong malayo na, either mag-connect ka sa ibang AGS na malapit-lapit or wag kang mag-connect. Okay? So, check also the coverage and availability of real-time correction. It's not just the real-time correction, pati of course, yung communication, may internet ba doon may signal ba doon sa site mo? Baka naman walang signal at nagkaroon ka ng loss of luck. What you can do now is wag ka nang mag-RTK, but you can just do yung RINEX download. So there are some tools that you can use to check kung available ang isang station. Pwede kang mag-install ng mga Encrypt client app. Tapos input mo lang doon yung login credentials mo and then yung IP address, yung settings na pinakita ko kanina. And then you can just connect to the to that product. Tapos kung makita mo na may pumapasok na stream, ibig sabihin, okay siya. Pwede rin via web browser, you just type this IP with the port at maglalabas siya ng mga list ng mga stations or products na online at that time. Okay? So one tip that you can also use is you can check this network online visualization of accuracy or yung Nova Maps. Basically, itong tool na to, pinapakita niya yung expected na residual error from the network after all the corrections have been done. So magpapakita siya dyan ng isang single base, kung tinanggal yung single base RTK, at meron din dyan isang map for the network na RTK. So makikita mo, pag red, wag ka nang mag-ano, kasi ibig sabihin, pangit. So dun ka lang sa green and medyo blue. Yan. Okay? I mentioned earlier about the quality of your base station and how it affects it's very important to the quality din ng magiging output mo. Ang kagandahan sa PAGeNet is that we monitor nga daily yung mga position ng mga AGS natin. So, nasa website siya nakapublish yung consistency. Makikita, you will have an idea on the consistency of reference station coordinates. So, pag you have a way of knowing kung may nakita kang kakaiba doon sa results mo, you can go and check the website. Baka naman may jump talaga doon sa day when you conducted your survey. Okay? So, yay! Final thoughts. Okay, so based on the previous slides and my presentation, makikita natin na different positioning correction methods have its pros and cons. So we have to check the requirements of the project to see which method best fits doon sa kung anong i-apply natin. And you see that PAGeNet is a viable alternative to meet UAV real-time and post-processed correction needs. And ongoing naman ang densification namin to further enhance the availability of services nationwide. Itong last, lagi ko na siyang sinasama kasi minsan pinipilit gamitin ang hindi naman dapat gamitin. So learn to put the instrument back in the box. So GNSS or drones for that matter, it's not the panacea for all your surveying needs. Ngayon, kung hindi talaga siya naaangkop, huwag ipilit ang gamit para hindi masira, hindi maging pangit ang results ng survey ninyo. Okay? So, that's it. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pakikinig. If you have questions, you can just get in touch with us through pagenet@namria.gov.ph or dyan sa phone number na nakalagay. Maliliit, hindi ko mabasa. Pero yes, it's 884-2849. Okay? You can also message us sa Facebook, kahit madaling araw. Okay, yun lang po. Maraming salamat.
So let's begin the Q&A. First question. Ito kay Ma'am Paulina Lingan. Tinanong niya lang, Ma'am Engineer Kayapan, kung pwede daw pong makahingi siya ng copy nung inyong presentation.
Yes, so I'll send a copy of this presentation to you.
Okay. Thank you, Ma'am.
Okay,
next
na, we're done na.
Okay. Okay, tapos na guys. Yan, joke. Okay.
Live, Angela. Sila daw sa FB Live ay nakasmile din. Pipicturean din na ba sila?
Sige.
Hi, Sir John Louie. Meron siyang question for you later, Charisma.
Okay, next question po from Miss Ella Frideluches. Would it be possible to use mount a low-cost receiver like UBLOX U-blocks in the drone and use single positioning like PPP for determining position instead of using the said GCPs, PPK, or RTK?
Theoretically, you have to check first with the specific drone na ginagamit mo kung pwede, kung kaya niya. Kasi di ba, Volts, meron ka dito yung about the payload, kung kaya ba niyang, theoretically speaking, you can, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
Pero you have to check first yung sa drone na equipment, baka kung kaya ba, how to do it safely and properly. Pero I'm not really familiar with customizing drones. Maybe you can add.
Yeah. Tingin ko naman yung mga gantong yung mga single positioning na the chip. Parang ano yan yung parang built-in ng mga consumer drones. So yung accuracy niya is ganun din. So around 3 meters din siguro. Parang same na mga navigation.
Yeah, but I think she, Miss Ella, she's saying that you can, U-blocks, yung parang module na siya. So low.
Yes, yeah, yun lang. Wala pa kami experience using yung kasi mga mga ibang yung mga drones. Pero yun nga, staying ko ganun din yung mangyayari, ganun din yung accuracy na makukuha mo dyan. So it's like yung using yung mga consumer grade na UAVs na may built-in GPS.
Okay. Okay na. I think the question has been answered. Okay, next question from Mr. Brian Marfito. Gaano po kalayo ang rover from the PAGeNet RTK para maging survey grade yung measurements?
Okay. Gaano kalayo? We have this rule of thumb that we follow. There are of course a lot of factors that contribute to the results of your survey. Pero yung rule of thumb lang namin is that kung yung equipment mo ay, let's say for example, single frequency lang siya, so you have to stay within 10 kilometers from the AGS dahil wala siyang capability to correct for yung atmospheric, yung ionosphere, hindi niya kayang i-eliminate yun or i-reduce. But if you're using dual frequency receivers, pwede mong i-extend siya up to mga 35 to 50 kilometers. Okay? And then, if you're within a network RTK coverage, pwede siya as far as 70 kilometers. Okay? Kung single frequency, within 10 kilometers, kasi you're trying to maintain the same atmospheric condition. If you have dual frequency, kasi pwede naman mo nang i-eliminate siya yung effect ng ionosphere sa measurements mo, pwedeng 35 to 50. Okay?
Okay. Okay, next question po from Joe Marie Buela. Good morning. I would like to know what softwares can be used for post-processing of PPK.
Sa office namin, I believe we're using yung Pix40 na software. Pero sa inyo, boss, may ano ba?
Yeah. I think sa time yung post-processing ng PPK na yung mga coordinates, yung RINEX, yung processing. So I think sa amin, ginagamit sa amin sa UPS. So they're using Trimble.
Yeah, pwede,
Trimble.
yung sa GNSS data, you can use nga yung pwedeng yung Infinity ng Leica and then the TBC. And I think even RTK Live, kaya ba? Kaya naman, di ba?
Pero RTK Live is single lang siya, baseline. Diba? So kung marami kang points. Pero kaya siya. Medyo matagal lang.
Sige, so I think that answers the question. May sunod pong question din from Maria Cruzet Kiocho. How about the vertical accuracy? So tama ba yung pagkaintindi ko na
usually kasi the vertical accuracy is like twice for the horizontal na yun yung expected mo because yun yung setup ng isang GNSS system. So mas pangit talaga, hindi naman pangit, mas mababa talaga yung accuracy sa vertical niya compared to doon sa horizontal.
Okay.
So usually twice yan ang makukuha mo.
Okay. Next question from Prof. Ping.
Sasagot lang siya dapat.
So the question niya po, actually he has 3 questions here. But okay, let's see. First question from Prof. Ping. If a UAV has an onboard PPK, will survey grade GCP still need to be established in the project area?
Idagdag lang kasi kanina, di ba, with respect dun sa table na pinakita mo, yung accuracy ng PPK medium and then low yata for the RTK. So parang how would it reach a high level of accuracy?
Hindi kasi 'di ba, lesser ang kakailanganin mong tayuan for your for lesser GCPs ang kakailanganin mo for your PPK. Kasi we recommend, 'di ba nagse-set up ka ng base station? mas mainam kung known na rin yung tatayuan mo sa iyong base station. Okay? Although I believe there's the practice now na unknown ang tinatayuan. Pero for me, I believe mas maganda kung kaya naman, edi gawin mo known.
So, hindi ibig sabihin na dahil may PPK on board, hindi na mag-establish ng control points. Mami-minimize lang yung number of control points to be established.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you po. Another question from Prof. P. How will a UAV mapping specialist know that he is connecting to survey grade GCPs?
How will we know? For the case of NAMRIA GCPs, if you want, you can check our Philippine Geoportal website. Kasi nakapublish naman doon yung mga locations ng mga GCPs. And then you can just use that para makapag-put up ng mas malapit na mga control points doon sa project site.
So, okay. Angela, mag-ano lang ng
Facebook. Sige po.
So yung first question dito from Louis J. Sasmenia Maratas, I think nasagot na yung coverage radius of core station. Second question is from John Louis Fabela. Wondering if the PAGeNet RTK was tried in Marawi UAV processing and how is its accuracy daw? If not,
actually, I want sasagutin ko siya. John Louis, sasagutin ko siya. I would have wanted to show yung comparison na yung actual data natin na may GCP, RTK, and then PPK drone na results. But then unfortunately, wala pa, lalo na sa case natin ngayon, wala pang masyadong RTK drones na nagagamit. Sa Marawi, ang available na unit lang namin before is just yung what it was DJI Inspire 2?
It's DJI Inspire.
Kailangan mo mag-GCP.
If I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. So at that time, nag-ano kayo? Hindi ginamit yung PAGeNet at that time?
Hindi pa kami doon kasi walang malapit. The nearest was around 60 kilometers away, Marawi. Mm-hmm. There was a plan before to put up a station in Marawi sa capital niya, but then naabutan nga nung siege and then and all those. Kaya, pero may MOA na dapat kami dyan. Mm-hmm. Pagtayo na lang.
Pero aside from Marawi, it has been used in other places na daw ba?
Ang pinakamalapit, I think we have one in Dipolog, tama? Malapit naman yun, diba? Dipolog, and then the one in Tagoloan. Yun ang mga pinakamalapit ngayon.
Mm-hmm. So, yun. Okay.
And down south, we have yung Cotabato.
Ms. Rhea, may babasahin ako isang question sa Facebook.
Sige.
This is from Washi Manigo. Hi ma'am, question lang po. For base establishment, meron po ba duration ng static observation per distance from my site to the COR station? Thank you po.
Kung minimum?
Kung pag base establishment, meron po ba duration ng static observation per distance from my site to the COR station?
Kasi ang niyan, the longer the better, of course, ang nun. Pero sa amin, lalo na kung malayo ka from your project site, mas mainam talaga mga more than 1 or 2 hours ang ang static observation mo dyan. Okay? Kung malayo ka.
Kasi meron si Finn Parley, I think she's from Bicol, no? Any timeline for having a service like OPUS, OPUS, or AUSPOS, AUSPOS?
For PAGeNet?
Uh-huh.
Not for PAGeNet per se, pero yung sa modernization natin ng Philippine Geodetic Reference System.
Anong ibig sabihin ng OPUS? What does it stands for?
Yung parang online positioning na user service sa US. So parang ganun din, mag-upload ka ng data and then they compute yung They provide you with the results.
Okay.
In the coordinate computation, you can look at it as sort of an online positioning facility. Like yung OSPOS, mag-upload ka lang din ng data mo. Pero sa ngayon kasi, hindi pa siya yung, if you will notice sa mga gumamit na ng coordinate computation service, meron lagi kaming disclaimer doon. Kasi automated ang process, of course, it has to go through yung evaluation kung okay ba talaga. So, yun lang.
Okay. Another question from FB Live from Sorvi Ildefonso. So he's thanking NAMRIA for the PAGeNet service. They saved us a number of times. Question on the RTK correction. Can we use it for topo surveys? What's the expected vertical accuracy if we are within 5 kilometers of a force station?
Okay, vertical accuracy. It's complicated when we're talking of vertical. parang naano ako. Pero yes, you can use RTK for topo. Yun naman na ang ginagawa sa ibang bansa, di ba? They're using that to do the topo survey. But for the exact figure, I just have to check first yung vertical accuracy na figure na expected. For us in NAMRIA, hindi pa namin siya talaga na-test ang vertical accuracy for PAGeNet.
Yeah. Okay.
Kasi kulang pa ng experiment on that. Kasi di ba for the longest time, ang ating GNSS has been used mostly for horizontal.
Yes.
In
addition to that, kasi magtanong din ako if there is any initiative or parang may research study ba ang NAMRIA with respect to yun nga, yung vertical accuracy, especially for topo surveys?
Sa vertical, wala. Ang alam ko, wala.
Oh.
I have to check yung sa mga thesis ng mga bata sa UP. Kasi we provide our data to the, ano ka na rin, i-plug. We provide the data of PAGeNet to students sa kanilang mga thesis if they're interested in the topic. So, I have to check dun sa mga thesis topics na sinabit nila. Pero parang wala pa akong So, I'll check first.
Sige po. Okay guys, balik muna tayo sa questions dito sa Zoom. Okay? From Sir Jun Gavino, tinatanong niya, adaptable po ba yung mga China-made instruments sa, I think sa PAGeNet? That's what
yeah. Oo. Kasi ang ang PAGeNet, it provides the correction and the data in the standard or generic format. So, regardless of what brand you have, it can work with it. Like sa RTK, ang sinasend out namin is in RTCM, it's generic, and then yung sa RINEX, it's again RINEX. So any processing software can process RINEX data. Okay? So kahit China man yan, or Belgian, or kaya.
Okay. Next question. From Prof. Ping.
Si Sir Ping, ang daming tanong.
That's great recitation daw po. With the present PAGeNet configuration, can a UAV specialist using RTK methods attain the 10 cm positioning accuracy of lot corner coordinates prescribed in the MLSP? I think this is the Manual for Land Surveys in the Philippines.
In the present PAGeNet configuration. Ideally, kung malapit ka, maganda yung location mo, yes, you can. Nung may mga test kami, may mga nakukuha kami na 2 cm, ganyan. Na-achieve natin yung published na accuracy yung sinasabi ng RTK na 2 cm. Pero of course, ang daming factors na pumapasok dyan sa RTK na yan. Pero yeah, kung sinunod mo lahat at maganda ang communication, maganda yung location mo, yeah, you can achieve that within that 10 cm. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Dito may interesting question si Mr. Jory Montelibano. If we assemble our own fixed-wing drone with a double frequency RTK GNSS, can we request NAMRIA to evaluate the performance of this rover GPS performance? So, kung gagawa ka na sarili mong drone.
Sariling drone? Can we request NAMRIA? Drone?
GPS performance.
Yung
yung RTK, lang.
Yeah, yung RTK GNSS lang ang tinatanong.
Module lang siguro.
Usually yun yung nilalagay nila pag gumagawa ng drone.
Hindi pa namin siya ginagawa ngayon, pero...
Charisma, and Walter Pokman, our partner, was here. Meron silang sariling anong tawag nun na bolts? I forgot.
VMAP.
VMAP. So it's RTK ba yun? Double frequency RTK?
PPK siya.
So they had it evaluated in Namria. So I think pwede to.
No, okay.
Yeah, he had a certification. So, certification. Kung pasok ba, kung okay ba yung performance.
Oo.
So I think that answers Sir Joris'
question.
He can bring it to Namrea for evaluation. Another question here from our FB Live audience. Tanin ko, kilala mo to.
Sino kaya yan?
RTK and PPK only for GPS. Are there also RTK, PPK for other GNSS available sa PAGeNet for GLONASS, Galileo, and BIDO? May differences ba sa accuracy for the different GNSS?
Okay. Our stations are capable of tracking, some stations, of course, yung mga bago, lalo na yung all the new installations that we have right now, multi-GNSS na sila. So the RINEX data that you can get is, you can get that from different constellations. Ang network processing namin sa RTK sa ngayon is just using GPS. Pero we're planning to upgrade that to take advantage nga ng BeiDou and other Pero sa ngayon, GPS pa lang ang ginagamit niya for network RTK processing. Okay. Yes, of course, mas gaganda ang results mo if you're using more signals from different constellations. Okay? GPS and BeiDou, mas na-improve niya kasi ang availability ng mga satellites. So, mas maganda ang fix. May mga na dyan, papers na na-publish na mas maganda ang fixing performance tsaka yung accuracy kapag mas maraming constellations ang ginagamit mo for your GNSS.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Another question sa ating FB Live from Mr. Rene Sanapo.
Nakapasok yan?
Ano daw po Blockbuster kasi, yes. Hindi na nakapasok, so sa Facebook Live siya nanonood. How many paying users on average per month? Tas which region has the most number of users daw po ng PAGeNet?
Of course, it's still the NCR. Ang madami. Walang katapos ang NCR. Oo. Sa Mindanao, marami na rin nag-aano doon sa Gensan. Wala ako dito about stats on the users now sa PAGeNet. But for the case of UAV, ang masasabi ko, dumadami na sila ngayon. Kasi way back in 2015, parang isa lang yung client namin na gumagamit ng PAGeNet for UAV. And then, the past 2 years, mga 5. Mga 5 or 6 na. Tapos dati, it's just purely RINEX download. Pero ngayon, nag-explore na sila ng RTK. Yan. Pero yun nga, there's an issue nga about the RTK fix doon sa drones. Kaya sabi nung kasamahan ko sa PAGeNet group, kasi hiningan ko ng staff. Yung sabi niya, ma'am, parang iisa pa lang yata ang company na nakapag-fix. Lately. Kasi lagi daw float ang lumalabas kanila or STS. Yan.
Okay po. Ma'am, next questions. Balik po tayo sa questions sa Zoom. From Alex Fahit. Good morning, ma'am. May I ask saan ang exact location ng PAGeNet RTK station in North Cotabato and Davao?
The one in Davao, we have 2 in Davao. One is in the airport, Davao International Airport, and the other one is in the capital of the province of Davao del Norte. Yan, so dalawa yan sila. Sa North Cotabato, it's different from Cotabato, di ba? ARMM. Different ba yun? Different, di ba? Pero ang namin, meron dyan sa Cotabato City.
Okay.
Nag-iisa lang yan siya dyan in that area. So, Cotabato City.
Ma'am, may addition daw po si Mr. Abner Belmonte.
Ayan, sabi ko na eh. I just
Oo.
want to add.
Na medyo limited gamitin ang PTAG for drone survey sa southwest area ng PTAG due to CAAP limitations. Ang PTAG is
the one in Namria.
Okay.
Hindi lilipad ang iyong drone.
Unless, no, just kidding.
Unless po, may mga nuro kung paano yung mga workaround dyan.
Ayun. Okay. Next. Ito nasagot na, but I think it's good that ma-address. Using PAGeNet station, is it recommended to do RTK for establishing control points?
For me, for control, if the project allows, why not go through static observation? Kasi RTK, ang results niya, yes. Pero we have to consider also yung methodology on how you did the RTK and all those things. Pero if it's something as important as control, may na mag-static ka pa rin. Parang may ako dati na paper on the guidelines on the use of GNSS for establishing control. So balikan ko lang yun kung ano talaga. Pero sa akin, kung kaya na static, mag-static ka na.
Okay.
I think UP has a study with
yes, then.
Bureau. So I think magkakaroon sila ng policy then with regards to the use of GNSS for...
Yeah, oo. I believe patapos na.
That's right. Oo.
Patapos na yata yun.
Ma'am, may
tanong lang din muna ako.
Sir, sorry? Sir Volta?
May tanong lang din ako regarding dun sa... Kasi nga, patingin ko, di ba, yun yung kaya sila gusto nila mag-ITK. Kasi kung mag-static sila, wala silang pang-process na software. Software ng ano. So, yun nga. So, nag-offer ba si Namria na pwede mag-process ng static observations?
Yes. You can submit your data to us and we can process it for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't worry.
So, next question po. Hi, from Shelon Kada Owas. Charisma, hi Charisma. Request status of PAGeNet installation in Pag-asa.
Hi, Sir Shelon. Supposed to be this year siya. May kontrata na yun eh. Kaya lang, naabutan nga tayo ng pandemic. So, na-cancel yung contract. So, hopefully next year, maitayo na siya. Tsaka sir, kailan ang punta nyo? Kasi makikiride lang kami sa barko nyo eh.
Ayan, mga taga-Namri yung kasama ni Mas. Yung coast, yung
brand.
Oo. Coast and Geodetic survey.
Mahirap kasi ang access sa Pag-asa, so we're relying on kung may survey, hydro survey ang HB, mainam na makisabay na lang kami sa kanila.
Ma'am, may mga questions po dito regarding the locations of the PAGeNet station. Saan daw po pwedeng makita? Available daw po ba sa website niyo? Yung mga ano?
Yeah. You can check it out na lang sa PAGeNet website. Na nasa Namria din, di ba? With Namria website.
And then from Miss Ivy Flores, ilan ang nakukonsumo sa data tuwing kumo-connect sa PAGeNet? Shout out sa GMI.
Ilan ang nakukonsumo?
GeoRitematics Inc. I think.
Hindi naman siya ganun bigat. Yung correction stream, hindi siya ganun kabigat. Di ba may mga ano naman ngayon na parang mga unli. May unli data pa ba? Kasi dati meron kaming sinasubscribe na 1 day unli. Ganyan. Pero yan, for the day, we just pay 50. Tapos unlimited data allocation for the day and then makakapag-survey ka na. But then of course, kasi dito sa Philippines, hindi katulad ng ibang mga course network sa ibang bansa. Meron kasi I believe it's in the UK, na may partnership sila with an ISP. So pag nag-subscribe ka sa kanila, may kasamang SIM card. Tapos parang may dedicated na bandwidth sa inyo. Sa ngayon kasi wala tayong ganong arrangement. So, makikipag-agawan ka sa mga nag-online classes. Okay. Pero mainam nga sana pag ganyan. Kasi, of course, ang ano mo is, it's just open for everybody, di ba? So, makikipag-agawan ka sa ibang mga users din.
Okay. Ma'am, from Mr. Manny Parangan, can I use PAGeNet to get corrections for single frequency GPS?
Yes, you can. Pero again, maintain that 10-kilometer distance from the AGS.
Okay po. And last 2 questions po. Ano po ang requirements para yung isang lugar malagyan ng course?
Okay. Sa amin kasi, we're trying to maintain yung 70-kilometer spacing. Kasi yun nga yung ano for network RTK. But we try na dapat sa lahat ng region, malagyan namin at province, 200 naman yung target area, target stations namin for the whole Philippines. The criteria, we follow IGS. IGS site characteristics sa paglalagay namin ng mga station. So kasama na doon na it has to be stable. Kung may bedrock, sa bedrock mo itatali. Kung roof-based yan, dapat ang building ay more than 5 years old. Kasi dapat nakapag-settle na siya. And as much as possible, hindi siya lalampas ng 2 floors para yung paggalaw ng building ay hindi rin mag-contribute doon sa uncertainty ng position mo. So marami yan, may listahan yan. If you go to the International GNSS Service website, may listahan yan sila mga desired characteristics and then required characteristics.
Okay. And last question, I think si Ms. Reyes or Volts, me and Ma'am Charisma can help answer this one. Any recommendation for beginners that can be used for simple survey, any apps or links that we can check? I think may question nila ganyan sa Facebook Live. Kung may marerecommend ako yung drone for simple surveys. Sir Volts.
Sir Volts.
Yeah, syempre yung drone, syempre ilan lang naman yung consumer grade ngayon sa atin, di ba? So pwede ka magsimula kahit na yung pinakamura nga lang. Pag-aralan mo. Ayan, ako nagsimula ako yung drone deploy lang. Doon lang ako natuto. So una, nag-upload lang ako ng image. Syempre accuracy hindi ganun kaganda. Pero doon ako natuto mag-fly, paano flight planning. So kahit na yung mismo website nila, meron ding mga tips doon na pwede nyo basahin.
Okay. So yeah, the information is available online. Yes, Ms. Thea.
Sige, tuloy mo. Kasi meron pang mga tips for our newbies who wants to learn about drones. Sige, tuloy mo lang muna.
Yun na po yun. Yun na yun. So you can...
Basa-basa lang.
Yeah. You can check our Facebook channel in YouTube to check all our previous webinars because we've addressed majority of them, which software to use, anong apps, anong hardware ng drone ang gagamitin. Yun. Yes, Mr.
To our YouTube channel, Foundation for Economic Freedom, nandun po yung Do's and Drones natin, seasons 1 and 2. This is the 3rd season already. So, balikan nyo po yun, nandun po halos lahat. And we have another question from FB Live. Is Encrypt the only protocol in transmitting correction? Does course stations also transmit in radio?
For the PAGeNet, sa ngayon, Encrypt lang talaga ang gamit namin. There was a plan before na mag-put up ng radio in some of the stations. Kasi lalo na like sa case ng Batanes, dati ang hirap ng internet connection. So, ini-explore namin before kung maglagay ng radio. But then, in terms of the users kasi in the area, parang wala namang masyado. So, hindi na muna namin siya tinuloy.
Okay. Another question from Serene Sanapo. Are there installations enough to support building a 3D cadastre for the entire country?
Are there enough installations to support 3D cadastre? No.
Ano yung timeline? May timeline ba kayo? Kasi syempre,
kung kami masusunod.
Internet ng Pilipinas, di ba? Sa ang data, ano yan? Open data ba? Or with DICT plans? meron kayong parang timeline, like for example, 2020 to 2030 ba yung plan for the company?
Plan? Isipin mo kasi, di ba ang target namin 200 stations. Pero yung rate ng installation namin, given the resources that we have, is around 5. So, 200 divided by 5 is...
40.
The modernization of the PGRS nga, we were pushing sana kasi kailangan na natin mag-modernize. And for us to modernize, we need this station. Pero again, kasi it takes a lot of investment para ma-put in mo yung geodetic infrastructure all over the Philippines. Yan. Lalo na sa atin, di ba kasi gumagalaw tayo lagi. So, kailangan sana natin yun. But then, again, may mga budget constraints tayo. Kung nasunod yung plano, 2020, dapat may 200 stations na tayo.
Okay.
Ang pinopropose namin, kasi sabi namin, pag hindi mo masunod yun, kung walang resources, aabot tayo ng 2045. So,
the present rate. At the
present rate, oo. But, ang inano na lang namin, may isa kaming proposal na sinablit na until 2025 sana, makompleto natin yung 200 lang. 200 lang. Enough for the geodetic reference frame development.
Ano ba yung timeline ng yung modernization plan?
Yeah, yun nga yun.
To 2025.
Sana 2025. Simula yan sa 2016, si Sir Ping, alam yan. 2016, tapos na-move ng 2020, tapos 2025.
Yeah, at least 'di ba, parang nagsiset tayo, and then because of mga some concerns on resources lang.
Yeah.
Reflect budget allocation from, of course, the government. Yeah. Yan yung ating mga issues and concerns, kaya hindi natutuloy yung mga plans.
Yeah, but then we're looking at parang workaround dito sa problema na to. We're partnering with other government agencies like ng DWH and then sa PVOX, and then para kung sila may mga stations na, we can just share the data para makatulong, maayos namin yung ginagawa naming trabaho. Magiging input din siya doon sa modernization. And we're trying to encourage yung private sector na nagtayo ng sarili nilang mga cores to also stream their data to us. Ganyan, para maisama din namin sila sa monitoring. But of course, dapat maganda yung documentation ng site nyo. We have to inspect kung okay ba yung installation bago namin siya isama doon sa network.
We have from suggestions then from FB Live, from Pin Parley. Dapat po siguro ay maglagay ng stations na malayo sa airports para di maapektuhan ng CAAP limitations ng paggamit ng PAGeNet for drone surveys.
Oo. Pag naano namin yung mga 70 kilometers, baka
Also, pero sa criteria kasama ba 'yon? Yung parang medyo iiwasan ng airports?
Sa densification kasi namin ngayon, may partnership kami with CAAP. We're trying to kasi, di ba? Kailangan din kasi ng CAAP yung GNSS data.
Yeah.
Tapos sila usually ay yung may mga malalawak na facilities, walang obstruction, walang Kaya ideal sana sila. Pero yun nga, we're trying to hit 2 birds with 1 stone. Na makatayo kami ng station, and then sila, the GNSS data, they can also use it sa operation nila.
Okay. Yeah. And then meron ding mga comments from Ronel Taningco. Why not target all airport na may RTK stations? It's a start, most have internet connectivity. Also, mga state universities and colleges with mga GE surveying and land science courses. Also, look at blockchain processing for RTK with university partners.
Yeah, we do that already.
Oh.
Yun yung mga una naming pinupuntahan. If we do reconnaissance for new sites, ang inuuna namin is number 1, yung mga other government agencies, lalo na yung may mga survey and mapping function. Kung meron silang facility na that meets the criteria, then okay. Number 2 is the state university. Mas maganda kung meron din silang mga GE or yun nga, surveying and mapping na related disciplines na ano doon sa university. Kasi yung mga partnership namin ngayon with state universities, may free access sila sa data. They can use the data as part of being the host. They get access to the data doon sa station. So kung gusto nilang gamitin yun sa research nila, then they're very much welcome. No. So lahat yun, inaano namin para ma-maximize nga natin ang gamit sa network.
Okay, Ms. Rhea, I'll just read the last question here sa Zoom. Okay, una, pa-shoutout po sa mga taga-Fieldbooks from Deo Carlo Llamas.
Hello,
and then yung sa Georythematics din from Baby Jane Pitogo. Okay, so in relation to Fieldbooks, ma'am, may question from Sir Jason Amprarado. Good day. Pag naglilindol ba, maapektuhan yung accuracy ng course? Shoutout po sa GeoConstar Trading Corp.
Okay. Ito kasi, lalo na dito sa case natin sa Philippines na madalas tayong nililindol. Di ba nga, ito na ngayon ang focus ng modern geodesy. Kasi before, inano natin na ang mga controls natin, hindi dapat yan gumagalaw. Di ba? But then now, alam naman natin gumagalaw talaga siya. So the focus now is not to maintain that fixed position, but to monitor how much it changed and then kung saan siya pumunta. Okay? So that's the advantage of a course. Dahil nga every day you have the time series of your position. Pag nag-earthquake, I believe if you check on the Facebook page ng NAMRIA and then sa website din ng Facebook page ng PAGeNet and then sa website ng NAMRIA, may mga pinublish kami before ng mga offset after the earthquake. Okay? So ang tinatry na namin i-push ngayon is that you know the expected offset. So kung may change man doon sa survey results mo post-earthquake, dapat hindi yan lumampas doon sa offset na yan. Oh. Yan. So yun ang maganda sa course. Hindi mo yan nakaka-capture pag nag-aano kayong mga campaign lang, magtatayo ka lang, and then ano. Kasi hindi mo nakikita yung variation ng position mo. Okay? Of course, magbabago. Number 1, magbabago ang position after the earthquake. So what you can do now is just to monitor kung gaano kalaki yung pagbabago. So that's what we're trying to do with the modernization ng PGRS. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. So guys, I think you still have some questions, but we're running out of time. So I'm ending the Q&A here, and please help me give a round of applause to Engineer Kayapan for this one.
Applause.
So I sent the link to the feedback form in the chat box, so please do answer that. We'll also be providing certificates within the next week and also the presentations. If you have more questions, you can contact us or Engineer Kayapan. She showed her the NAMRIA contact details. And this webinar will also be uploaded in the TPRS FB page and the YouTube channel of the Foundation for Economic Freedom. So please do subscribe and like our videos. And we'd like to thank our partners, the Asia Foundation, Engineer Kayapan for being with us, and also the rest of the panelists, and sa ating mga masugid na manonood/makikinig at sa ating mga viewers sa Facebook. Maraming salamat po. I hope you have a good lunch, and please do stay safe and dry. May bagyo, so maulan. Ingat po tayong lahat. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Arisa.